Bueno, estamos en compañía de realeza boxística, el campeón unificado de las 135 libras. Es un verdadero honor. So we're in royalty. You're the unified champion at 135 pounds. How does that feel now?
First, no royalty here. I'm just me. It is good. It's a good feeling. I got all the belts. I had a great victory. It's been a long, hard road. It really has been. But I kept my vision, my tunnel vision. I never lost sight of my goal and what I was trying to achieve. And I achieved that certain, goal of mine. But there's more to go now. There's so much more. This is not a one-hit wonder. I want to reign for a long time.
It must be very interesting to wake up on a Sunday and have headlines across the world. GEORGE Kambosos, the new champ. And for 9 months, we've been waiting for this fight. Your name was never even mentioned. Everything was about Teofimo Lopez. How did it change for you on Sunday morning?
I woke up, I took all the belts downstairs to be with all the fans that came to the hotel. Took a lot of photos, had a look at a bit of the media, and nothing really changes for me. It's the same for me. The headlines are there if they're there. If they're not there, so be it. But I'll continue doing what I do best, and that's in the gym and in the ring.
We spoke before the first fight. We walked around in the first venue where you were supposed to have this fight. And you were talking about the sacrifices and how boxing is not big in Australia. How do you think they're taking your sacrifice, having to fight all over the world and now bringing all these belts back to Australia, where we all know rugby is king?
Yeah, it is huge. It is absolutely huge in Australia. I think they're still celebrating. And also in Greece, it's incredible. They are very excited for me to get back there so they can enjoy it with me. And then we are ready for the big fight there. They've been waiting a long time. I've been waiting a long time. That's always been my goal, to come back to Australia after I win all the belts and defend there. So we're ready to do that. And I can't wait to enjoy me being a world champion with the people. That's the most important thing. And not only I accomplished my goal, but the whole country can feel that they're world champions as well right now.
And I love it when you say you declared yourself as the champion of the people.
Yes. Yeah. Look, again, that's for me. It's for them to create that status. But time and time I've heard it continuously because of the way I act, the way I present myself, and it's just a good time. It's a good time for me right now in my career. I've put in the hard work. I've earned it, and the people are respecting that.
I mentioned sacrifice, you mentioned work. A lot of people might not really understand the extent of what you had to give up for so long. Just to make the picture clearer, you had to spend over 1.5 years in the States due to COVID, due to quarantine. In the middle of this, your wife is pregnant, you missed her birthday, and a very touchy subject and very heartfelt subject. In the middle of this, you lose your grandfather. Deep roots with your Greek heritage. You dedicated this fight to him. The words that stayed with me in the post-fight interview was, "I feel him with me." I felt the emotion. Yeah. I still do. If your grandfather was there at that moment, what was he telling you?
I feel that keep going. You've worked so hard. You've put so much on the line. You've sacrificed so much for your family, for the name Kambosos. Don't stop now. And you know what? When I got put down in round 10, I felt that. Get up, finish this fight. Show them how great you are. It was a very surreal moment. We were in the dressing room getting the hands wrapped, and the cameras came in, and the Greek flag, fell a little bit, and all of a sudden I felt this presence on my shoulder, like someone touched me. And just at the exact moment, I looked at my father and I go, he's here with us. I'm going to win this fight. And it's the way it was. It's destiny. A moment that I know that he was there, and then after that he's telling all his buddies up there that my grandson, GEORGE Kambosos, he did it. So it was a good moment for our family.
They had ringside seats. I know that for a fact.
Yes, he was there. He was inside that ring with me. He fought on my shoulders. When I got dropped, he lifted me up. So it's a great thing, and I'm not upset. I know that he's with me, everywhere I go now.
That is perhaps the most emotional moment for me in particular. But when I rewind the tape, since we talked about the fight, Let's go back to that 10th round. Most of us that had scored the fight, it was pretty much even to that point.
Yeah.
You were rocked. You were rocked. And as a commentator sitting right there ringside, it was almost like your legs were not there, and in a split second, they were back.
They were there.
What did you say to yourself?
I was upset at myself because I made the mistake. I was putting on such a boxing clinic. I got a little bit too excited for the fans, and I lost my composure. I smelt blood, and I went in for the kill, and I ended up getting caught myself. It was a flash knockdown. I lost my balance with the shot to the equilibrium. I got up. I could feel still a little bit shaky. I said, now this is where you're going to show how great you are. Still a minute 45. Lopez finishes any other lightweight in the world at that moment. But again, I was going to not be broken. I'd gone through too much, and I knew survive these next 30 seconds, the legs will come back, and they did. And then I finished the round strong as well. I came back, landed my good shots. I remember going back to the corner, and I was smiling and laughing. And Javier and my coach Mick as well, they looked at me and go, "Why are you laughing? Are you okay? Are you okay?" I said, "Yes." Okay, that was my mistake. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to punish him now for the next 2 rounds. And I did. That round 11 was brutal. Split him open, shot after shot, and then round 12 just closed the show like a true champion. That's where you see, a good fighter to a great fighter, a champion to a guy that's going to be here for a long time. Them rounds, when you get dropped in round 10 and come back in the championship rounds in 11 and 12 to win that fight, to really make a statement, that's a true champion right there. And I knew this was my moment to be great. I'll look back at this for many years. My kids will, my grandkids will, and the world will. They'll say, that there is you get up, and you put it all on the line, and you make yourself, finish the fight no matter what. That's what it was for me.
George, we called this fight a war of wills because, like you mentioned, when you're on the last leg of a fight, your conditioning is obviously already diminished, your punching power has been diminished, and you closed even stronger.
Yeah.
How deep did you have to dig?
It's a testament to my conditioning. I did dig deep, but to be honest, I feel there's more. There's so much more. I could have even been better that night. Even though I put on such a great performance, I could be even better. My conditioning, my hard work that I put into this preparation, my stamina, even to be put down to get up and finish the fight the way I did, is a testament to my training and how hard I prepared for this fight. So I'm only getting better. I'm going to be much better in my next fight. That is a true champion. This is not a one fight, and then you're not going to hear of me again. This will be a very long reign.
Let's go back to the first round because in the pre-fight interviews, basically Teofimo had promised that he was going to knock you out, minimum down, and it was going to start from the get-go.
Yep.
That there was no studying, there was no, measuring, getting your range, that he was just going full throttle from first bell. And lo and behold, you throw him down. He goes down, and we were all stunned because we knew it was going to be an action-packed fight. We just never thought it was going to be that fast.
Yep.
What went through your head as he's going down?
What went in my head as he's going down is, I told you, and I knew this would happen, because the way I got under his skin, the mental games I played, I knew he was going to be so emotional. I knew he would come in crazy. But the way we studied him, I could see his head doesn't move when he throws his shots. He steps heavy on his jab. So I knew I'd take the early onslaught. But if you look at the fight very closely, I was moving, I was sharp, I wasn't catching many shots. I think he caught me with maybe 1 or 2 that put me a little bit off balance. But never hurt at any stage. And I just caught him, I brought him in, I drew him in. And when he took that big step in, I lined him up, come across my right hand, and it was just a beautiful shot. But I'm so happy it didn't totally knock him out, because then I get to show how good I was throughout the next 12 rounds.
And we were surprised because, like you said, in the 10th round, when Teofimo throws you down, you knew that he was going to come and look for you and hunt you down. You didn't do that in that first round. You allowed the fight to breathe.
Yep.
Why?
Because that's when an opponent is most dangerous. And I've seen it time after time. I really am a student of this game. I study so many fights and I've seen it before where you score the early knockdown and all of a sudden the fighter that actually gets the knockdown goes into a shell or gasses out because they go looking for it too much. I said, okay, I scored the knockdown. I've just earned the respect now. He knows that I can punch. He knows that the speed, he can't see the shots. Now go to the game plan. Let's box him for as long as I have to, and let's stick to the game plan, round after round. And that was the game plan. Keep doing what I'm doing round after round. Work the jab, 3, 4, 5 punch combinations, create the angles, land my power shots when I have to, box when I have to, and we won the fight.
Interesting you mentioned that because there was a lull between the 5th and the 6th. So you just kind of slowed down. Your productivity came down.
Yep.
But your connection percentage was still up to par. But the production itself went down.
Yep.
Was that part of the plan, or was it just you feeling you?
No, that was part of the plan, to draw him in a little bit more, make him use more energy, still win the rounds. I still won them rounds, but use less punches, but land the cleaner shots. And that's what I was doing. I was breaking him down bit by bit, making him use even more energy. Like I said, I am a student of this game. I study the game so much, and this is nothing. To be honest, this is really nothing. There is so much more. They haven't seen. If they thought they saw a lot in that fight, there's going to be so much more. The world will really be shocked. They're going to be talking about this for a long time.
I think we're still reeling from so many things that happened. It was 12 rounds worth of extraordinary boxing. But one of the moments that really threw us off was you're being held by the ref. Great ref, by the way. Yep. Did an outstanding job. But when David Diamante is saying, and still undefeated, he raised Teofimo's hand,
yep.
and then you went, no, and then he said, from Australia, and the new, and then he raised your hand.
Yep.
It was a split second, but that changed the dynamics of the whole conversation, if we want to talk about in the fight,
yep.
about the fight. What happened there?
To be honest, I didn't even see him raise his hand. I was just waiting to hear and the new. I didn't even pay attention to still undefeated because I'm undefeated. Labor's undefeated, so I knew, for some reason, I knew that they were going to kind of go that way. And then all I waited to hear was and the new. And when they called that the beautiful words that I've been dreaming about for so many years from a young kid, it was a good feeling. It was just the trainers, Aviel, Mick, my dad, Peter, my wife, Mike Basil, all of us that were in there. They lifted me up, and it was incredible. It was a great moment.
That is a moment that, for all of us, we're very excited. And when we're listening to the cards, it was a very close fight. Most people would say they're fair cards, even the one that gave the fight to Teofimo Lopez, because, like I said, it depends on what the judge really looks for and likes. When you heard that card for Teofimo Lopez, what did you think?
Yeah, I was straight away. I said no way. To me, the way I saw the fight is 9-3, 8-4. Both scored knockdowns. I done the better work. I landed the better shots, and there were some close rounds. And I feel that I still got the better of them rounds. I did more damage. My shots that I landed were way more with bad intentions, cleaner. So look, it was only fitting. Again, it was another split decision because my last 2 fights, which again I thought they were way off the judge that gave it a split, were split decisions. So it was only fitting that you're going to win your undisputed championship now with another split decision. Just one more time you're going to hear it. So it is what it is. I'm the champion now, and
just to remind you,
it's just another reminder.
Yes.
Give you another split decision.
As we are waiting, we did mention, and I brought up Selby because we knew, just in punch stats alone, you had the better part of that fight, and yet you came down with obviously the negative result. So as we're waiting, Marco Antonio Barrera, being the outstanding champion that he was and a great analyst, he says there is no way he can't take this fight.
Yep.
So now we go to the post-fight interview where Teofimo interrupts your interview with Chris Mannix, and he says, you maybe won 2, max 4 rounds. Did that hurt?
Not really, because when he first came, he was so confused that he said 11 rounds to 2. So he's even stuffed up on the rounds. Look, I believe he was concussed from early in that fight. A lot of brutal shots, and I'm not angry at him. I've never been angry at him. There was never any emotion going into the fight. It was never personal for me. It was a mistake on his end, and his fans, really felt attacked as well because they booed him. They left the arena straight away when he interrupted my moment. But it is what it is. He'll learn from it. Again, I'm not angry at him. You can. The world is pretty angry at him. They are pretty upset. There is a lot of things going on social media and the internet. But what matters is the guy that actually bled with you, and we went to war that night. It is what it is. I'm the champion now.
Yes, you are. And I go back, it was a war of wills, and we're comparing this fight to any of the Gatti Ward, Barrera Morales, and we had a chance to have Barrera there commentating on your fight. And he said, a lot of what I see right there reminds me of what I went through.
Yep.
And he said, and there's a reason why I am now next to the apron. It's not easy to be in your place. It's not easy to be not on the receiving end or on the giving end, because you're human beings.
Yep.
As you're walking down the apron, you were so gracious. You were saying thank you to everybody. What brings to mind is almost like you became a politician. Regardless of what happened in there,
Yeah.
I'm still George Kambosos Jr.
And that's right. These belts, with or without them, doesn't change me. I'll be the same person. More than anything, now I have the opportunity to give even more, to be able to help more people around me, to be able to give young kids an opportunity, on fights and cards and promote them and help them. I'm very fortunate to have been with Manny Pacquiao for a long time, and just to see, people ask me, what did you learn with Manny Pacquiao? And obviously I've learned a lot with the boxing, but what I learned as a human being and seeing what he does with the people and the help he gives to people, that's what I need to do now as a champion. And that's the most important part. I won't change. I'll be the same person I am, still be always confident, but again, there is never any arrogance, with or without the belts.
We don't need to confuse arrogance with simply being sure of what you can do.
Yes.
The one thing I can say is that not many people get a tweet immediately after your fight from the 8-time in 8 different divisions champion. Perhaps he's going to be a straight line Hall of Famer, Manny Pacquiao, congratulating you. And he didn't just say congratulations on getting your belts. He went straight to just describing your performance, your heart, and your will, and obviously your grace.
Yeah.
So, in my mind, I think you learned the lesson.
I think so too. I think it's a valuable lesson, and it shows a respect that we both have, for each other, because we put in a lot of work together. Seeing that tweet made me so happy. I just won all the belts on top of the world. Seeing his tweet, that was special to me. To see the respect there from a legend. Even with Marco Antonio Barrera asking for a photo, and I'm saying, you're the legend. I want a photo with you. Don't worry about me. That's the kind of fighter I am. That's the kind of person I am. So, I keep doing what I do. I do what I do best.
When you have a chance to now look back at all those sparring sessions you had with Manny, we saw, obviously from our position, very strong influence, the sidestep for the hooks and the uppercuts. That was very clear to us, how that had influenced you. How do you see your boxing being influenced by somebody like him?
There was a lot of traits in that fight from Pacquiao. You can see the bouncing, the movement, you can see the hard jab, you can see the combination punching and meeting the opponent and making sure you land the last shots, the angles, and when you angle, come back and fire. A lot. But again, the heart as well. We all know Pacquiao had such a big heart. He would get put down, he gets up and comes strong. The condition that he had, a lot of traits, a lot of Pacquiao in the way I fought as well. And that's when you do 250 rounds with him and you're with him for 3 world title campaigns. It doesn't matter who I fought, and that's what I knew coming into this fight where they said, who's you fought? Mickey, Bailey, Selby, who are they? It's not who I fought, and they're good fighters too, former champions. I give them so much respect. But the sparring I've done with the certain guys, former champions, world champions, and all-time greats in the hard gyms, the countless rounds, that's where you gain your experience, you learn yourself, and that's what I took into that fight. No one had seen a certain Kambosos from what I showed on Saturday night. And again, there's so much more. There is things that people have not even come close to seeing, except for my trainers and the close people around me.
I had a chance to speak with Coach Basel, and he was very complimentary to your work ethic.
Yep.
How do you make it better? If you're already there, you already have the work ethic, the dedication, the heart, the soul, you already left it on the ring for all of us to see across the world, how do you up the ante?
Look, Mike Basil is an absolute fantastic cut man, part of my team, and done a great job with my cut. And
yes,
he's been
we
around,
can see it.
Unbelievable job to pretty much close it up and give me the extra rounds, that I needed without having so much blood coming into my face. Was fantastic. He's been around a lot of fighters, a lot of champions, and even when I was doing my lightweight cut, because I've never seen anyone like you. How mentally strong you are, but how focused, how you don't change from training camp to fight week. You're always the same, the same way. Your charisma, your attitude, your discipline is the same, which is a lot of words there. It gives me even more confidence in my training, what I've done. But going back to your question, how I get better is, one, I don't let this victory go to my head, because it's just another win for me. I continue putting in the work, but I learned a lot in that fight as well, because I had never been put down before. Mm-hmm. I got up, I showed even more than I've ever shown in any other fight. I continue pushing and creating the 1% things that these other fighters aren't doing. I continue my late night runs, my early morning runs, my conditioning sessions, my boxing sessions. I keep learning my craft because I'm far from complete. There are still mistakes in that fight, things that I done wrong. And again, I haven't even seen the fight yet 100%, but I will sit down and pinpoint everything. So that's how I get better. I sharpen things up even more. I make my hands even faster. I create even more power in the way I punch. So there is a lot more to go. This is a halfway complete Kambosos. I might be the undisputed champion of the world now, on top of the world, but this is a halfway. When we get to the finished book and the finished product, it's going to be unstoppable.
You're 28 now. How many more years do you see yourself investing in boxing?
It's a scary question, because you don't want to, I just remember myself starting my professional debut at 18 years of age, but I have been in this sport a long time. It has taken a long time to win all these belts, even that I got them in one hit. Look, I think another 5-6 years, but again, I love this sport so much, and I look after my body. I eat well, I don't drink, I don't do anything that would do anything to a body and slow it up. I'm always focused, I'm always training, so this could be a very long time, maybe to my late 30s if I want to. But that's a decision when the time comes that maybe I won't have to make. Maybe the people around me, that I have good people around me, say, look, it's time. But for now, I'm not even thinking about that. That's for the future.
So let's make it simpler. How much longer do you think you're going to stay at 135?
My whole career if I have to.
Really?
No problem. I make the 135 limit very easily. Mm-hmm. I need to put on more size. I actually need to fill out a little bit more as a 135 pounder. Even get a little bit more strength. And that's the next thing. You said, how do you get better? Well, I create even more strength in my system, in my body. I get a little bit bigger, create even more explosive punches. That's the next part as well. I can stay at 135 for a long time, but I've got the kind of body and the speed and explosive power and the movement, like a Pacquiao, to move up if I have to, at 140. But again, I can even move down to 130 if I had to.
Wow.
So I can fluctuate, no problem. My body type can come down and look good, stay at 135 where I rule right now, or come up to 140 and put on a little bit more muscle and feel great. When you've got such fast hands and great movement and can be in and out and land your shots, it's endless.
What's your walk around weight? I know we shouldn't ask those things, but I need to know.
147. Yeah,
Oh.
147, 148.
So you would
So
be a
right
natural
now,
welter.
yeah, natural welter. Yeah, 147, 148. But when I start to really push the training and really start to get the conditioning and the cardio, I start to drop, and it's very easy. I make the weight very easy.
So you all of a sudden you went from being unknown, wondering where this kid came from, which that's the question I got asked on a regular basis,
Yeah.
even when we were here in Miami. Now everybody knows George Kambosos Jr. They are, even Greece is like
Crazy,
calling on
crazy.
you. You're gonna go back to Australia. What's next for you? How is your next day going to be?
Look, we're going to go to Vegas tomorrow. That's my next day to go see the Haney Jojo Diaz fight. I'm expecting it to be pretty crazy out there because Vegas is the fight capital, and everyone loves a fighter, and especially when you're coming as the undisputed champion. I'm going to be presented very well over there. But Australia and Greece have not stopped celebrating. They're jumping up and down. They needed this. They've been craving this for a long time, and I said it for a long time. I will be the next world champion. For Greece, they've never had a world champion. There's never been a world champion for Greece, let alone an undisputed champion. So there is unbelievable. And Australia, never been an undisputed champion with all these belts.
That's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hardware, a lot of hard work though that went into it. I stay focused. You know, this is part of the business. This is to be presented as a champion, to have the people around you, to have media and reporters and all of that. It's all part of the job. It's something I've already visualized, and I knew that was coming. You know, even when we're going to land in the airport, they're expecting 5,000 to 10,000 people at the airport.
Least.
Easily. My dad said, we'll get some security just in case. I said, what for? No one's trying to hurt me. These are my people. These are for me. I want to be with the people. And again, I learned that from Pacquiao. He doesn't have any security with him. You know, wherever he goes, it's a good time. But again, there's so much more to go. I'm so focused in what's next.
And it's interesting because for us, we're already looking at what's next, and precisely Jojo Diaz against Haney. That's a great fight. 135 right now is perhaps one of the most attractive divisions that we have, most competitive in depth and width, you know, alphabetically speaking. Who do you like for that fight?
It's a good fight. You know, not only that, it could be a future opponent, a possible opponent next. As a fight fan, I love the fight, and I'm looking forward to being there ringside to watch it. I think Haney will win a points decision, but I'm hoping it's a good fight and you know, a battle, a war, because I showed on Saturday night, and Lopez did too, takes two to tango, a war and a fight of the year in the lightweight division. That elevated again the lightweight division. So these lightweights that are coming to me, that are trying to hunt me now because I got all the hardware, they got to show me, because I don't want no boring fight. I want to fight for the fans. I want exciting fights. So they need to show me now who can give me the best, you know, fight that makes the best, you know, war and fight that we can have. So if Haney comes out and gives himself a great fight and looks strong, and you know, it's a nice war, then he could be next. And again, you've got Lomachenko and Commey, and you've got Tank Davis as well. So again, one of them, they need to show something. Could be any of them, but I want to fight, you know, one of them.
It's interesting because about a year ago, Teofimo was the unknown, challenging the undisputed, highly touted, perhaps in the list of the best pound per pound, and he took over. Same thing happened to you. Now all of a sudden, you're in the decision-making position. Just between us, who calls your attention best?
They really all do, and you know what? I will fight all of them.
Really?
Eventually, I will fight all of them, and I will take them all out. Just like, and people say, this guy's crazy. But they said I was crazy when, you know, I said I was going to beat Lopez. They said I was crazy when I was going to beat Selby, even Mickey Bay. They've been saying I was crazy when I beat the top guys in Australia. They were way ahead of me in the ratings. But that's that vision and that hunger and that focus. Like I said, I love the Haney fight. I love the Tank fight. I love the Lomachenko fight. But they got to look good. I want to see them show something. All of them can be possible opponents.
Fantastic. So we look forward to having you back in the ring ballpark?
I'm looking at April, May. You know,
Okay.
this was, again, as good as I feel right now, this was, you know, a solid fight. It was a war. And my body needs the time to heal, to get back into the sparring. The training, I'm always training. I want to train right now, but the team won't let me.
No.
And you're saying no as well, don't train. So I'm listening to people, which is good. But the sparring, don't forget, this was a long preparation. You know, again, this took 10 months. The sparring, I haven't stopped sparring. You know, from when I went back home, I continued sparring. Come back, continue sparring. So it's a lot on the body. So we're looking at April, May, but in Australia. It has to be in Australia.
Fair. I would love.
Yep.
We were there for Manny Pacquiao.
And you'll be there for Kambosos as well.
I'm looking forward to that. And before I let you go, it happens quite often when you have a moment like that, that even if you have the hardware and you're walking off the ring and you're really just up in a cloud and it doesn't really sink in until later. I just need to know, when did it sink in? When did you just go, oh, I just did this?
It's crazy because I've been asked this before as well, and I had that vision so strong that when I walked into that ring, I knew I was champion. And the great Customato said it. You need to act like a champion, be a champion, dress like a champion, present yourself as a champion before you are champion. So I had that moment already. So it sunk in when they said, and they knew I had the belts, I'm the champion now. I was a champion long ago, already in my head. So to sink in, as soon as they said it, it was on paper, the hardware's there, it's mine now, it is mine now, but I knew this was coming.
Well, from all of us to you, congratulations.
Thank you
you for everything you did. I know it was a long road, but it was well worth it.
Yes.
And thank you for giving us an outstanding boxing show.
My pleasure. It's always great to chat with you, and there's plenty more, a lot more shows to come.
Let's go to Australia.
Yes, down under.
Yes.